Hello, gods, goddesses, emperors, empresses, orishas, kings, queens, and to all of the magical creatures who show up in support. This is Junebug Tarot, and I am Lola X, coming to you with an update. How's everyone been doing? I am streaming live from one of my favorite sushi places. I maybe will drop it in the comments, but I don't need nobody pulling up on me right now. How has everyone been? And be sure to drop in the comments because I do care to know. How are you doing right now? That means in the present. If you need a little help with that, please go to an emotion wheel on Google. Let me know. I care. I care. And I appreciate for all of you caring about me. I appreciate all of the love, the funny videos that I've received, the encouragement while I had been away at school. I'm saying away at school. I've been still here at home, but child, away in them books, honey. Away in them books. It's amazing, this journey that I've been on since I've started this page, this becoming, this discovery of I am. So beautiful. So beautiful. No one promised us that life would be easy. And one of the things that I've struggled with in this lifetime has been acceptance, because shit can get so fucking shitty. Life can feel so fucking shitty. Catch and clock how I did not say that life is shitty. The circumstances have been the things I've had to deal with, but Eastern philosophy teaches us that life is filled with suffering. Excuse me. My sister really did these curls. When I say I love this hair, I love this hair. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. I'm fighting off this little cold. I don't wish it on nobody. The head congestion, the chest congestion. I've been doping myself up with Sudafed PE and hotties. Y'all give me a second because I need my face on oil. Yes, I would like to choose you. Where are they at? Okay, I'll do the tiger eye roll without the cream cheese, as well as the TNT roll. And that'll be all for now.
Alright, perfect. That'll be all for you.
Alright, thank you. Alright, I'm back. I got my... Y'all probably seen where I'm at on the menu now. I have to get out the house. I had the luxury of going to Biloxi, Mississippi this past weekend to celebrate one of my friends. She just got her doctorate in anesthesiology. The greatness, y'all. The greatness, the black excellence, the carrying on and such. Speaking of, right, the black excellence and the carrying and such. If you're not following me on my personal page, I just recently graduated with my bachelor's in psychology. And I am on my way to graduate school to complete my master's of social work. in clinical oh Lord, I'm about to say clinical psychology, clinical social work. There we go. Clinical social work. This undertaking has been so worth the journey. In studying psychology, I learned so much about me. I've become so much more comfortable with sitting with the discomfort and the disease or the unease, being able to observe my thoughts and allow my emotions and thoughts to pass through and be me, to accept me and to know that it's all me and it's not me, to relinquish control and let go. A few years ago, I fought at every turn. I've learned how to better fight and will my energy to things that are more useful, to lines of thoughts and patterns of behavior that are more conducive and useful to me in my journey. Because being in survival mode was all that was. I was expelling all of my energy just to survive, just to get by. And I now know a new way. And as my support group says, I now know a new freedom. Relinquishing control to the Most High, the Creator, the universe, the all, however you desire to classify them. So worth it. To be light, not just this light shining over me, but to be light, to feel light, to release the heaviness. It feels so good. And so while I'm on this topic, it's going to be a great place for me to start here. Releasing control. Letting go. Yes, it's fucked up. Yes, they did that. Yes, they said that. Yes, that was taken. Yes, they were taken. They were taken from you. It's all a part of a grander design. It was already written. Hey, my love. Hey, my love. You came in right on time. I'm talking about relinquishing control. And also giving an update on me since I ain't been live on this page and I don't know how long, child. How are you doing, love? Some things just have to happen. We may not know the rhyme or reason. Sometimes there is no rhyme or reason. It just happens. I love you so much. Oh, I love you so much. Gratitude. I hope you are well, love. I hope you're well. Right before graduation, was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks before graduation, right in the midst of submitting final assignments and taking finals, one of my best friends transitioned. They were dealing with a lot. They were carrying a lot. There was a lot on their plate. They were feeling heavy. I had already been through so much this year. January 1st, I went to jail on felony gun charges. February 2nd, this was in New York City, by the way. February 2nd, my apartment was burglarized while I was at Galentine's with my girls. Was homeless for a week, staying at a hotel. Then I finally went over by my mom and them while my apartment was getting prepared. I ran into issues in the education system with ableist. I'll say it like that. Thank you, love. Thank you. I was already feeling so heavy, so then April 29th, I was over so much. I just was over so much. And was feeling so heavy. Had issues getting to sleep that night. And I can remember the feeling of hopelessness coming over me. I'm glad that I was able to acknowledge it. I went to bed for a few hours to wake up. I had missed phone calls and a text message, and I'm like, girl, what is this about? Everybody should know I'm in school. So go on Facebook and see that my best friend was no longer with us. And when I say best friend, this is somebody who I grew up with. We went to elementary school together. We played video games together. We did so much together. I love the game Phase 10 because of him. Had this happened prior to, I don't quite know how I would have taken it, especially since I had just seen him for spring break. Just had seen him for spring break. And on April 23rd, I invited him to my graduation and my graduation party. And I hadn't got a response. We were talking about heaviness and being light and relinquishing control to a higher power. Spiritual coping, if you will. Hey. I know, friend, I know. Relinquishing control, because there has to be something greater in store. Earlier I was mentioning Eastern philosophy, and that one, the belief that and the acknowledgement that life is full of suffering. None of us was promised a life that was going to be peaches and cream or of privilege. And most of us who are on this page, we are of minority status here in the United States. We have the lived experience of knowing the suffering. However, when it comes to going back to Eastern philosophy, there's the yin and the yang, or the wu and the wei, the ebb and the flow, the belief that if something bad is happening, or you're experiencing something catastrophic or heavy, is that on the horizon, something special, something light, a blessing, something good is on the way for you. Back in my Christian days, it's a scripture I love that the suffering of your present time doesn't compare. It doesn't. I'm a living testimony and a living witness to that, and I got on here today to share that all the hell that I have experienced seemed like since this decade started in 2020, it didn't make any sense at first. I felt like at the height of my career at this call center. I'm a trainer. COVID happens. They send me to go travel and train some people and stuff. And then I began to realize the nature of everything and how my life was put in danger and how I had to be responsible for what happened to me. It was no one else's responsibility what happened with me or still happens with me and what will happen with me but me. There is a healthy dose of ego that is needed to get you through what you need to get through. A lot of people will speak and say, oh, you got to release ego. No. You need ego, baby. But unhealthy ego has to be let go. And what is unhealthy ego? I'm going to operationalize that and say that unhealthy ego is the survival, the things that we have done to survive, the things we have learned to survive and get by because we don't know a better way. Now, some of us may know a better way, and they're still operating in that because it serves them, it benefits them, i.e. a bigot. Meanwhile, it's still damaging and hurting to that very ego, that very person. That's another video for another day, though. I don't want to go too far off the topic here. I left that job, went to a job in 2021. I was discriminated against because I told bitches at a baby shower that I was a woman. At the time, I still was masculine presenting. I have now since learned more than that gender is a social construct. Whoever you know yourself to be, while their physical eyes may not be able to process it spiritually. Hold on, my sushi done made it. Hey, thank you. Y'all, I love me some sushi. I'm still gonna deliver this word while I'm eating. Who you know yourself to be while others may not see it. That's when you go even harder. They don't need to see it. They don't need to believe it. What matters is who you see and who you believe. It took a while. And mind you, this is just a physical manifestation of what I always knew. Thank you. Who I always knew. Who I was. Here now. But I had to fight and still fighting. 2021, I actually was in a car wreck right before I got fired from that job in 2021. I was in a car wreck, total loss. They have no insurance on the car. Somehow I knew that debt was going to be cleared though. And guess what? It was a year later, got me another job. I was injured years ago in the military, in airborne school. Back got messed up. Some of y'all may remember I was talking about the sciatica and how it flared up. One second. Ooh, it's so good. The sciatica flared up. The VA telling me that I was going to need to get on temporary disability because I was unemployable while I was dealing with that. I was having a hard time doing basic things for myself. My back still flares up, and when it flares up, I still experience that. I now have the tools to aid in my recovery when that happens. But clock what I'm saying here. Physically, I was facing challenges. Mentally, dealing with major depression and PTSD. Socially, being disenfranchised by institutions set up by white supremacists that were set up to oppress me. Windmilling, fighting, championing for myself. And at this time, my self-efficacy was so low. Or at least I felt like it. Not even realizing, bitch, you doing what you're supposed to do anyway. And they ain't stopping shit. Thank you. I'm about to get to that now. Which one is this? Is this what I ordered? Because one of these was supposed to be deep fried. Whoa. One second, I gotta see what I done got here. She gonna come to me, girl. Because I'm like, oh, what is this? That one look good, though. I'm not feeling well, y'all. But I'm gonna deliver this message here. Period. Both of my girls are here now. I want both of y'all to know, since both of y'all here right now, we ain't ever meet in person, but y'all is my besties. You hear me, besties? Besties. Period. My besties, my girls. So 2022, I go work for this company. I used to be contracted through them through a third party, and I got hired directly through them. Things didn't work out because they couldn't properly accommodate me because we live in an ableist society. Had to go. But I was able to get me a vehicle in the process. So, oh, okay, let me keep my composure to tell a story here. I'm telling a story of grit, perseverance, resilience, existing, thriving. Not just, well, surviving and thriving, but transitioning from survival to thriving. Dang, I missed them. I'm gonna catch her when she come back right on. Cause I don't know what this other thing is that sat on this table, but that ain't what I ordered. We're gonna look this wasabi, and I need it. I think it's about to clear all this congestion up. Baby, it's so good. I decided to get myself back in school in the summer of 2022. I was told by a counselor that I needed to change my major because I wasn't going to be able to get much work with the type of disabilities I have, because while I may get the job, long term that wouldn't be conducive for my health. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Because I was studying criminal justice. What am I going to do? Because I wanted to work in a capacity to where I can help us when we get caught up in the system. And to redirect, guide, lead, provide tools. I'm so grateful that I had already learned to open myself up to a growth mindset and not be so rigid, and how I desire for this to come to pass. Clock that. There is a benefit to leaving behind rigid ideals and constructs and developing a growth mindset. It's a muscle. May I ask you? No, you're good. I'm online. Which roll is this? Because I don't think this is what I ordered.
That one's the tiger eye roll.
Did I order tiger eye?
Yeah, you said no cream cheese on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did. I thought it was deep fried. It didn't look deep fried.
The inside of it has something in it.
Oh, I thought the whole thing was deep fried. Okay, forgive me. Okay, I'm good then.
Everything's okay for you then?
Mm-hmm. May I get another Topo Chico?
Okay.
And that'll do me for that. Thank you. Okay. Girl, listen, because I had to see, like, hold on, wait, is that what? I'm going to eat it now. It looks so good to me. Ooh, it is deep fried. We in there having that growth mindset, because it comes in the hand here. Sometimes we got to pivot and we got to shift. At all, honey. Please don't play with my food. Ooh, it is spicy already. I'm still going to add a little wasabi to it, though. When I say I've been feeling sick as a dog, I mean sick as a dog. But I had to get out that house today. And now that sad heat, yes, baby, I gotta replenish the heat. And pat up on her booty and say, Miss Fiery. Growth mindset. So the man tell me, he said, what you describing to me sounds like a social worker, and the University of Houston downtown has an awesome social work program. I believe you'll do well in. Like, now I don't want to do no social work right now. I'm gonna do psychology. And so I took some summer courses that year in 2022 I got accepted into University of Houston downtown, where I enrolled into their psychology program because the program promised to let me know more about me. Social work was about service work to others. I wasn't done with me yet, though. I'm still healing. That's how I got to travel to Ghana 2 years ago with the school. But on that trip, let me tell you how spirit works. Spirit like, okay, you can go ahead on and go and do, the ancestors say, you can go ahead on and do psychology, but we pulling you back over here to social work because this is where you belong. I met a social worker. She has her doctorates in social work. I ain't gonna name drop on this page for sake of privacy, but she sat there, thank you so much, and ministered into my soul and fed me and gave me what I needed on that trip to give me the directions on how to go about getting my coinage while I'm doing what I'm doing, because she's also African American. And being so supportive throughout me and my transition and everything, y'all. The amazing people I have met along this journey, both those of y'all who I have not yet met in person, clock the yet, and those who I've been blessed to share space with, to breathe the same air, to share stories with. While the bank account don't show rich, the riches that we have been endowed with ain't no dollar amount to it. You don't even need the money in your bank account to do it. Okay, let me move on. Let me move on, honey. I start presenting as she, her, hers, and they, them, theirs. The adversity, just because what I know now to be fear, people fear what they don't understand, but we got to deal with it because of what they don't understand. Similar to how they felt about segregation and why they didn't want to integrate the schools out of fear from what they don't understand and don't know. Because you challenge people. I challenge people. You watching this, you challenge people, continue to do so just by living. You are already qualified by your lived experience. You are already teaching others just by being you and breathing, walking, talking, experiencing. That's another video as well. We're talking about perseverance and resilience. You keep going. The setbacks happen. Well, what perceived setbacks happen. Everything happens to your benefit. You just whip that shit to on your behalf, baby. It all can turn around in your favor. I have not clocked into anybody's job since 2022. Sitting down enjoying my sushi now. 2023, I got blessed with my 100% disability. And I share that to say, I was supposed to get out of the military with that. They knew what had happened to me all those years ago and how it was going to impact me years later. I was having flare up after flare up. The Most High came through. I had got into tarot reading. That's how this page got started here. And I'm sitting here ministering to people, speaking to people's soul, inspiring, reading from a space of spiritual abundance, because financial was not there. But still have been cared for along the way, and I'm going to continue to do so. Continue to speak to those and speak life into those I come into contact with, because we all need each other. Just as well as I've done that for y'all, y'all have done that for me too. And so for that, I'm going to say gratitude, and we're going to keep this going. 2023, fall of 2023, when I'm on the trip to Ghana, we went to go see a local healer / shaman. And he told us that by the end of the drumming circle that we were in, that we were going to know what our purpose was. And I knew that I had to come home and be the woman that God called me to be. I began to feel so heavy, and I went into a depression because of, well, at this time, affirmative action had got rolled back, and I didn't know how I was going to be protected. And in the schoolhouse, or leaving my home, that had been my fear. I was also dealing with a bit of agoraphobia. I didn't want to leave home. I had to develop that sense of support and emotion regulation in me. I felt so down because I wanted to graduate in 2024. That was on my vision board, and it didn't work out that way. But remember earlier I said that letting go of rigid way of thinking, and it may not always come the way that you desire it to, but developing that growth mindset and just being open to the ways that it comes and show up. I had to sit down and heal the rest of 2023. And I'm glad that I did. I told myself, and I made a vow to myself, that this is the last time I'm missing out on any more opportunities behind what's going on in this world as it pertains to me and how I show up. Went back to school spring of 2024, and that was my first 4.0 semester ever in college. Pushed. I started gender affirming care at the end of spring 2023. Going into the summertime, I ran into issues with just processing the transition and getting started on doing voice therapy, HRT, and all this other stuff. And then dealing with the discomfort and unease because of the uncertainty of whether this gender affirming care clinic would be able to stay open at the VA because of the powers that be that may have come in which now we know they've come in. But I remember that promise I made to myself that regardless of what happened, I had to keep going. And so we know what happened November of 2024. It was heartbreaking. It was devastating. Because at the intersection of my identity, being black, being trans, being a veteran, all of these identities are still under attack. Perseverance, resilience, moving from surviving to thriving, lack mentality, and lack why was I saying Mac Collagen, girl? I don't even know what that is. I don't even think that's a thing, girl. Anyway. Perseverance, moving forward. I lost my train of thought somehow. lack consciousness, there we go. And poverty consciousness will have you spiraling out of control and spinning out. Knowing that regardless of what happens, one, nothing is ever truly lost. Nothing is ever truly lost. You keep going. It's another way. They said no, somebody else gonna say yes. It had been a whole lot of that since then. I learned to speak up to my professors and let them know what was going on, regardless of whatever other department that didn't want to help me out, down to the schoolhouse that gets paid to help me out, to know what the hell I had going on but not communicating on my behalf. I learned to advocate for myself in a much healthier way that would facilitate my growth and success. Get arrested January 1st, 2025 at the Empire State Building. I had never gone to jail before to be booked for charges, that is, let alone felony charges. Until June 3rd, I faced felony charges. The hoes was at me because of who I am. What I experienced at the Empire State Building was racism, was bigotry, was sexism, was transmisia and transphobia, and was homophobia. But I remember telling my sisters I was out there with my trans sisters, I said, I just had my first adverse experience as a black woman. It was so heartbreaking. I wouldn't cry in front of them bitches though. And didn't. And so to then move on from that, I needed support. I tapped into my community and began to cope through my support systems, as well as coping spiritually by praying, exercising to shake up that energy, just getting out and going for a walk. Me and my dog going walk. I love my dog. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I got me a dog in 2023. She's 2 years old now. She made 2 on the 2nd. We locked in. My sister, I met this lady back in 2010. She has been a present help. She introduced me to the other lady I was on a trip with. The way the community came together and rallied around me, and not just the LGBTQ, but my personal community, my tribe, the way they rallied behind me and showed up on my behalf. They wrote letters. They called down to the DA's office. Baby, the girl had made waves. Somehow, I even got put in contact with the public defender I had. I got put in contact with his mentor without either of them even knowing that was going to even happen like that, child. But there be things greater at work. So while subjectively we feel like we're going through so much, there is something outside of us. And I gotta acknowledge that is working on our behalf. They're in us, right? But that's personal power. There is a power that is greater that is working even now. All right. Whew. Child. I gotta say this part and I'ma go. One of the manifestations had been that all debts be cleared. Every bad deal and contract that I was in prior to this year cleared. The apartment that had got burglarized, I was going through hell over there. Hell. It's alright, love. It's alright. I pushed through it. I know that you support me, period. I didn't post much over here on this page because I didn't want to bring that over here into my spiritual page. But I'm sharing this testimony over here though. That these people had in that contract, they were not responsible for any break-ins, thefts, burglaries, none of that. They had went and changed the lease. I had read through the lease prior to me signing it when I first moved in. They changed management companies, and then people had threw a clause up in there to where they didn't have to let me out my lease. I had to champion and advocate from the same champion and advocating I had to do. Yes, I'll do, can I do a pineapple and shrimp fried rice?
Pineapple and shrimp fried rice?
Yes.
Of course.
Thank you.
Anything else for you?
Not now.
That does work for you.
Thank you. She is so sweet, y'all. Where was I at? That was a bad contract. That was a bad deal. I was not safe there. That was not meant for me. That is somewhere that I was still staying at out of survival. I was telling myself that until I got out of school, I was going to stay there. The spirit said, They got me the hell out of there and out of that deal. If you watch football, you may know about an audible. The best way to describe what has taken place was the Most High called an audible on the play. I got moved. When I say I got moved, I got moved. With a rigid mindset, I would still be sitting there trying to figure out why the hell this happened to me. What the hell is going on? I just need to make sense of it. Remember I said that earlier. Sometimes the shit just don't make no sense. It may not even make sense right then and there. Yes, there are sometimes you need to learn something right then and there from something. But when you got freak accidents and shit just happening, I'm learning now to relinquish control and just let it go for my own health. Something greater in store. I begin to face more adversity. Down to the schoolhouse. I'm so grateful for the coursework that I had been enrolled in. I was taking the psychology of prejudice and I learned a lot more. Context surrounding my and our lived experience in dealing with bigots. And I began to learn the language. I had to fly to New York to tell these people who I was and what I had been through. I used to want to sit in a room and not say much until someone said something to me, and so now I have the opportunity to grow. You're gonna go here, you're gonna tell these people who you are, and they about to have to let you go. And it happened. I wasn't able to make it to my best friend's services because I was completing my school semester. There were ceremonies and stuff going on surrounding the end of the school year. It just was a lot. I said, but as soon as I get the opportunity to get down there to New Orleans, I'm going to go down there. And I'm going to go see him. I'm going to go stop by the grave site. I'm going to go see him. I had the opportunity to do that last week. How about I get down there and thank you, Bestie. I want to say maybe like an hour or two after I had left the graveyard, we in the city of New Orleans, and my car gets hit. A hit and run. This is the second hit and run within, what, that was in 2021, in 4 years. You remember earlier, if you've been with me, I had no insurance back then. The lesson I did learn was, bitch, you make sure you keep some good insurance on your car. I said that this car I was going to keep until I was done with school. What I meant in my mind was that I was going to keep this car until I was done with grad school. I had went to go get me a house. Well, try to get me a house. And I was told that this, that, and the third about my finances and everything, but it called my attention to the loan and my interest rate and everything and how I was in need of a better deal. You have to pour me some more Topo Chico, baby. The bank done totaled that car out. But thankfully this time around, not only did I have the insurance, I had the gap insurance to ensure that that was covered. That was going to cover the vehicle as well. While it sucks, I just lost my vehicle. That bad deal I was in, it's no more. Once these people make these payments the way they need to make these payments, I'm done. And I'm freed up to make whatever deals and enter into new contracts that are going to be conducive to me. I sat here and I put in the work, the therapy, hours of therapy, journaling, vlogging as of recently, personal vlogs, not something I'm just posting. Hold on. Thank you. Oh, and Miss, thank you so much.
Okay.
Probably I used to know how to speak this on, which I'm going to say something. Thank you, honey. Gratitude. Sure, you ain't just no help. You was human. I'm talking about just no help. Child, you doing your job, period. Baby, this sushi's so good. Hold on, you gotta do the obligatory. Oh, that looks so good. So good. So good. There we go. The therapy, the self-love, the self-care, the community engagement and involvement, connecting to source and being connected to nouns that are greater than me, meaning unity is what I'm speaking of here. I felt like I was swimming, sometimes sinking and drowning, but then swimming and fighting for my life. And I finally feel that I'm in a place to where I have made it on dry land. And I'm not just walking anymore, but I found my stride to keep moving forward. I'm sitting here as a living witness and testimony that whatever it is that you may be going through in your life, keep going. Yeah, the shit sucks. No, it don't make no motherfucking sense. Yes. I love they shrimp and pineapple fried rice, y'all. And yes, I eat pineapples on pizza sometimes too. Period. Open your palate up. Here you go, friend. You said nope. Oh my goodness. But whatever it is you're going through, giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Take your rest. Take a break. Even if that was you had to sit out a semester. Whatever it may take, you get up and you keep going. Your story does not end here. I know. Your story does not end here. Talk about it. Storytelling is one of the things that I've researched that helps. And tell your story. And you keep telling your story. You listen first. Sit in front of the camera and record it to yourself. See it in your voice memo. Write it down. Get comfortable with speaking your truth. Even if it's just so negative. Okay. If you got a problem with that, this is what I want you to do. Either write your own affirmations or use your some online. Download ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT if you need to. If you have access to it, go to therapy. If that ain't your thing, find you a support group. Connect with others. Your tribe is here. And notice I said that your tribe. You create your own tribe. You create your own community. And you're responsible for that, for you. You are responsible for you. Mama and daddy had us, they made us, right? In the physical, they created us. I lost my father in 2011. That was hard. To lose a parent so young. When you think y'all gonna grow old, and try to let it be a later on in life thing, and sometimes the shit happens abruptly. Father gone. It was in 2011. And somehow I had to pick up the pieces and move on from that. And it wasn't easy. People like to put time limits on grief, and sometimes it's not that easy. However, even though there is tears along the way, there is some hurt along the way, there is grief along the way, there is also healing, development, secure attachments in relationships. There is love. There is balance. There is a balance. Both internally and externally, there is balance. It works out. It gets better. All is well. By the way, those have all been affirmations that I have spoken over myself these last few years. And that I will continue to speak. You speak life over yourself. into yourself. You fill yourself up. So not only do you have to feel to heal, F-E-E-L, the affect, the emotional aspect to it, but there's the action. Feel. You have to fill yourself up. You have to feel yourself up with the things you need. And when my therapist first brought that up to me, I was like, what? And so I'm like, well, I know how to feel through my 5 senses. And so the question I asked, I said, so is it okay that I work on feeling through my 5 senses? Kind of conflating feeling and feeling there, but to separate it, it began to, to go beyond what I'm able to sense and spiritually begin to cater to myself. I needed words of affirmation. I needed all the love languages with words of affirmation. I needed quality time with self. I needed the acts of service. What is it? I needed physical touch. There's one more. Quality time, acts of service, gift giving, physical touch. Oh, and the words of affirmation. And I begin to give them all to myself, 5 of them. I begin to give them all to myself and to fill myself up with those things. And the more and more I began to do that for myself, the relationships around me begin to mirror that. But it all started with me. It all starts with you. I'll hold space for you now and forever, actually. I hold space for you. So while you're still figuring that out for yourself, I'll let you know that I love you. I'm going to show up here to this page as often as I can to either post a live or to share a video. I'll be posting on TikTok again as well to share messages and encouragement, to hold space. I send you love and light unconditionally. May you experience joy, peace, happiness, love, understanding, encouragement, perseverance. May you develop grit. May you adopt a growth mindset. May you see. May you know. May you grow. May you feel supported and comforted always. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Oh yeah, and I am Junebug Tarot over there at TikTok as well. Alright, I'm gonna finish this last bit of sushi here and this rice and drink these fluids out of order for myself. To rehydrate me. Love y'all lots. Love you, bestie. I will talk to y'all soon. Period. I need some old ginger. Well, actually, no. Okay.